What's going on, everybody?
Another beautiful day in paradise.
That's right. You know, it's weird because today, during this episode of the Superhero Homies podcast, you were going to hear us talk about some incredible works of fiction and also Ironheart. All in one episode.
That is correct. Not sure why you singled out Ironheart like that. You know, that was interesting. Because I assure you that Ironheart will be one of the Marvel shows of all time.
Oh yeah, it will be. Yes. I agree.
And since you know you started there,
I can feel our viewership dropping just after I mentioned it.
I'm sure most of them are wondering the fuck is Ironheart. Well, that would be young Riri Williams. We first saw her in Black Panther 2: Wakanda Forever. And then we probably had her best appearance in What If Season 3.
Yeah.
And now here we are, about a month and a half removed from seeing her live action TV show. Comes out in late June. And before I get into this trailer and my thoughts on it, I just got to say this, right? Like, I want this show to be well because, like, even though we're getting like more black representation in the nerd genre and the comic book genre, we always need more validation, it seems, before like it's fully accepted by the masses. Now, the catch to that is it has to be really fucking good to be accepted. And I would love to get up here and be like, yeah, guys, I think this show is going to be amazing and you should all watch it. But I got a job to do. And I cannot say that. I have seen this trailer twice now for Ironheart, and I am woefully saddened and disappointed in the overall quality of this show. But, I mean, if I'm being honest, this has been an easy call from a year out. You know, a year ago, I was on this podcast saying, I don't think that this show is going to be worth anything good.
There is a very thin line, especially I'd say lately, between representation and pandering. Mm-hmm. And when you cross that line, it's very difficult to come back from it. You know, to give you an example, the Ocean's 8 movie, that's pandering. The all-female Ghostbusters film, that is one of the worst films with ghosts in it ever. And I feel like that bar is in hell.
It's got to be.
Also, you know, I'm all for, you know, women being represented in movie casts and stage plays, television shows, all of that. And minorities of all types. As a matter of fact, you know, if you look at it like from like the 50s to now, like there's been a lot of progress made and there's still more to make.
Yep. But,
and I hope it keeps it going in that direction. But you can't start with that. It's just like you can't start with, you know, we've talked about like messaging a lot of times. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if I agree with your message or not. You have to start with an idea. You have to start with the art.
Right.
And then if you want to, in a way that makes sense for the story you're trying to tell, have a message in there. I mean, we just got done. We are in the middle of reviewing a show with a couple of very excellent messages. One of them is
The Last of Us.
No, that's not it.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm talking about Andor.
Oh,
and their anti-fascism stance that's built into their messaging that goes all the way back to 78 Star Wars. You know, that is a message that their story allows them to tell, but you can't start with that. Right. You know.
Yeah, and you know those are very excellent points that you brought up. But it always seems that Hollywood is, for some reason, behind the curve, always, with things like this. And guys, believe it or not, Riri Williams was created by the same guy who made Miles Morales. And it's not like I'm talking about Brian Michael Bendis.
Yeah.
And it's not like Bendis made Riri first and said, man, like I was on to something that didn't quite land it. And then he tried again and made Miles. No, Miles came first. And then Riri came, a couple years later.
Well, maybe it's like, you're trying to make a homemade pizza, right?
Uh-huh.
And you get that dough out,
Yep.
and you make that shit perfect. And you get out them pepperonis and that cheese, and you just laying that shit on there. You got all kind of pepperoni on there, some bacon,
Yes.
The fucking cheese is barely contained by the crust, You put that bitch in the oven, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna work on that second piece. And you turn around, and you realize you done used up almost all your ingredients. You're like, shit, man, let me see what I can scrounge together with what I got in here.
Yeah. and so there ends up being a bunch of shit in this pizza that isn't supposed to be.
It's a little personal pan with
Yep.
some bell peppers on it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, you got like what were those things? Like remember like the Lunchable pizzas?
Yeah, you got some of the Lunchable shit on there. Yeah.
Oh.
Got some of that tube sauce.
Oh yeah. And just some shredded cheese that you drop on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. 3 pieces of pepperoni.
It's a slice of American.
Oh,
actually,
okay,
out the
yeah.
fridge, yeah.
Oh Jesus.
He's like, man, I used up all my pizza stuff on this dope ass pizza.
But it's just crazy, right? Because if you look at Miles Morales in like the past, I guess you can say 7 years, right? Since like 2018, that's when we got into the Spider-Verse and the Insomniac Spider-Man game, which featured Miles as well. And, ever since then, Miles has been, he's blown up. Like, he's a huge character now. And there are several reasons, I think, for his success. And I've had this theory for years about why Miles is so successful and Riri has struggled to gain any traction. And a lot of it has to do with simply presentation. Miles, like if you're going to do something that is decisively derivative, then you have to do it with so much heart and effort in it that it is at least as good as the original.
Or you got to get damn close.
You got to get damn close. And they have been able to do that with Miles. It's not easy, but they've been able to do that. And on top of that, Miles has Peter with him.
Right.
And that helps out a lot too, obviously.
They were screwed on this in the MCU from jump because Riri Williams doesn't even, like, Tony Stark is dead like years before she shows up.
Yeah.
There's also the fact that you've chosen to ignore his existence with Ironheart and don't even make the connection. She's never mentioned Tony Stark. Nobody else even goes, oh, hey, that's kind of like Iron Man's armor. Like, nothing.
Yeah.
It's insanely silly in a world where their most famous hero is Iron Man. And, like, Tony Stark is, like, this legend. Like, he saved the planet, the
Several
universe,
times.
actually. And it's not believable for the world of the MCU. And what makes it even worse is, like, these are the rules that you guys wrote.
Yeah.
This is the world building that Disney did. And it's unbelievable to me that they think this would ever catch on. I mean, they can't have any faith left in this character at this point. And rule number 1, right? Mm-hmm. Integrity of the characters. The comic book character isn't even all that loved, right. But like they couldn't even stick to the integrity of the comic book character here.
Yeah. And it's so unfortunate, right? Because you're hoping that they could do because there have been moments where the MCU has been able to take characters and make them something better than what they are in the comic books.
Kamala Khan
is,
but here's the thing though, is like they changed her power set, but I think the core of who she is still Kamala.
Yeah.
But I think but they changed the power set to not make her just, fucking D-list Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Or in the that Multiverse of Madness universe, I guess A-list Reed Richards. However you
Yeah. But we even theorized a couple of weeks ago about why we haven't heard anything about this show, because it's going to come out in just a few weeks. And then, lo and behold, today we get a trailer for it. And this is, I mean, besides that one snippet we got, 8 months ago or so,
that's part of a reel for like all the shows,
right? Besides that, this is the first bit of footage that we've seen on this Ironheart show.
Yeah,
I don't think that Marvel has any faith in this. I think that they're treating this in a similar way that they did Echo. They're just going to put it out there, and hell, remember, I think Echo came out all at once. It was only 5 episodes, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think you might be onto something. This Ironheart show might only be 5-6 episodes, and they might drop it all at once.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. There's nothing in this trailer. Like if this trailer is the sizzle reel, oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't look appealing to me. And I think they know. I think what's the guy's name? Brad Windenbaum, I think is his name, who's like the head of Marvel TV now. Mm-hmm. You know, he has said like kind of very similar to what they did with the movies, where they're like, okay, this is like the cutoff, and that was unfortunately Brave New World. Yep. And it's like we are really going to try to improve the quality and change how we do things here. And they were very successful on the movie side. I mean, Thunderbolts is being very well received by audiences, and I think it's got people excited for the MCU again.
Yes.
But, you know, they're going to need to do something similar on the TV front, and I think this and, is it Wonder Man?
Yep.
I think they already shot, and he kind of inherited them, and he's like, oh, well, we're just going to put them on the slate and push them out there, and what have you, because he seems very focused on like actually producing Born Again like a typical TV show, you know, having a season every year. And I think they're going to do that with a couple of other shows. Just a tidbit here, this ain't comic news, but we did get official confirmation that Jessica Jones is going to be in season 2 of Born Again. Kristen Ritter will be reprising her role.
Yes.
So
it's good to get that official confirmation. There had been rumors that she was on set for season 2, and well, now we know that she definitely was.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's great news. Matt should probably go pick up the other Defenders while he's, you know, while he's over there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's great. We got more trailers.
We did. Well, we got the Spider-Noir teaser.
We did.
I don't know how much we can say about that. This looks awful to me. I don't like the concept. And then I found out this shit was live action. Visually, it hurts my face.
Okay, well, maybe this will make it better for you. Nick Cage will be there. You know, he is still Spider-Noir.
No, I'm aware of that. Yeah, no.
Oh, and that doesn't help you any? It doesn't?
No.
Okay.
No, do you think he's going to fight a giant spider at the end?
The odds are never zero. But technically, he finally got to do that in the Flash movie.
No, that's true. He did. He did. I'm just going to say that that would probably improve things for me a tad. If he fights the giant spider at the end.
Does it have to be mechanical in nature or just giant?
No, I'd actually prefer if it was just a spider, like a creature.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
I don't think the Superman Lives one was going to be mechanical. I think they just had to figure out a way to make it work in the Wild West.
Yeah. I think they reworked it several times because one of them was going to be Brainiac actually has like a Spider-Rex body.
That's true, yeah. That was going to be a thing, yep.
But yeah, one of them was also just going to be a giant fucking spider thing. I think they're going to call it the Thanagarian snare beast or something like that.
Yep.
Yep. Which, you know, the Thanagarians, those are the Hawk people in the DC universe, and we also get to see Hawk Girl in some of these trailers that we have here.
That's
tonight.
Right. The next two.
We
want to save the money shot for the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so Peacemaker, I actually had not seen the trailer. I know it's been out for a couple weeks now, right?
About a week.
Okay. And I had not watched it. I just had not got around to it. You know, I've been very busy watching 3 fucking hours of Andor
Right.
and reviewing it every week. But yeah, just saw it for the first time. It looks like they've expanded on the first season. Mm-hmm. It looks fucking nuts. The production value is all the way up. You can tell that DC really trusts James Gunn. I I want to mention this here, and it doesn't really have anything to do with Peacemaker, but fucking, they're actually changing the name of the service back to HBO Max, and not just Max.
I had not noticed that.
Yeah, it's almost like Warner Brothers Discovery was like, oh man, that was a really strong brand that was known for like top notch shows. Maybe we shouldn't have scraped it off the building.
That was a really dumb decision because HBO has been around for decades and has always been associated with prestige television.
Right.
So why would you scrap that name? Yeah.
Because because David Zaslav, he's on ketamine. I'm going to get a cease and desist from his lawyer tomorrow.
Yep.
He's allegedly on ketamine.
It'll be the one time the committee is really on their shit and they nip that in the bud ASAP.
That's right. Yeah. He's allegedly on ketamine. Listen, I'm not saying he has a ketamine problem. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he's a drug addict and not just a fucking moron.
God damn. There's the cease and desist.
Yeah. But if you guys want to dispute the drug addict part, you'll just be proving me correct on the other part.
Oh, shit. Well, that aside, because that is really... It's really dumb that they got rid of the HBO name in the first place. And also, like, the people who knew never stopped calling it HBO.
Yeah. But, like, that shit's been associated with, The Sopranos, fucking Game of Thrones, The Wire. Just True Blood. All of this prestige television. Euphoria. The list goes on.
Yeah. Like, HBO used to have such name value that even if you were completely unfamiliar with what one of their shows was, you would check it out anyway because chances are it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's just really dumb to get rid of the HBO name in the first place.
They were the first ones to really do, and the only ones for a while to do prestigious television.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day, man, the only thing on TV like that was like procedurals.
Yeah, procedurals, and procedures were made so that you didn't have to be caught up with any kind of story. It was always like a story of the week type thing.
Yep. Yep. Try to get the viewers in this week. Mm-hmm. It was procedurals and game shows and the news.
Yeah, and the news.
And that was it.
That was about it. Yeah, if you had an old black grandma, it was In the Heat of the Night. That was the show.
And Matlock.
Murder, She Wrote.
It actually didn't matter what color your grandma was. That's what she was getting. Murder, She Wrote.
Yep.
Matlock.
Yeah.
In the Heat of the Night.
Uh-huh.
There was another one.
Oh, shit. There were a few of those back then, man.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of it was a Western.
Oh, MASH? No, there was Gunsmoke.
MASH too, but Gunsmoke is the one that ran for fucking 8,000 episodes or whatever it was.
Oh, shit. Oh, that brings me back. Oh, my gosh.
Somebody really famous was on Gunsmoke, weren't they?
I feel like it, like the main guy.
Yeah. Also, Bret Hart did a run on Gunsmoke, I think.
Did he?
Yeah, I think so.
I do vaguely remember seeing him dressed up as like a cowboy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did a run on Gunsmoke.
Bro, that's crazy because that had to have been like in the early to mid 90s.
Right.
And Gunsmoke came on, premiered who knows when.
Yeah. Yep, he was there. Bret Hart was on Gunsmoke.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Man.
He was also in Lonesome Dove.
Yeah, Bret Hart was just doing shit.
Yeah, he just kind of had that look.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, that was what was on TV back in the day, folks. I'm so glad that we're not in that era.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We'd be so bored.
Yeah.
I'd probably be on drugs.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I love me an episode of Supermarket Sweep, but I can't watch that shit all the time.
You can't watch it all the time. And you couldn't. That was what makes you frustrated. Like, why are you going for the cereal? Go for the fucking.
Yeah. Everybody knows the hams are worth more.
Yes, come on. God. But I'm also sure that there are supermarkets in Peacemaker. Which is
that was a hell of a segue.
Thank you.
No, this looks incredible. It basically looks like they're taking everything from the first season that worked and they're amping it for the second season, which is really what you wanted in season 2.
I also feel like I need to go ahead and preemptively give you props about a theory that you had from some time ago. you theorize that Maxwell Lord is probably funding whatever version of the Justice Society they have.
I did call that.
You did, and I think this trailer kind of confirms it, at least to a degree, because in the beginning of this trailer we see Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl sitting with Maxwell Lord, and they're like looking through like a one-way mirror at Peacemaker and making snide remarks at him.
Unbeknownst to them.
Yeah. And so like that does just kind of lead into the idea that, yeah, maybe Maxwell Lord is funding this version of the Justice Society.
What's your opinion of
Sean
Gunn? I was trying to think. I was trying to think of his name, and for whatever reason, my brain was like Bob Gunn, and I was like, that's not it.
Yeah, no.
That might be his Gunsmoke character.
I think that's like an old school wrestling thing you did, because I think Bob Holly teamed with Bart Gunn.
Oh yeah, that's exactly probably what my brain did. It was like, yeah, this much is what you're looking for, right? I'm like, no.
As a matter of fact, brain, how did you even find that?
Yeah. Must have been using like fucking dogpile.com to search for that shit. There used to be other search engines
besides Google.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we never said Google that.
Yeah. It was you got to go look that up or whatever.
Right. Ask Jeeves.
Yeah. Yep.
And Yahoo.
Yeah. I think you can still use Yahoo.
I mean, you can.
I mean, yeah. Nobody ever used Bing though.
Yeah, Bing
that wasn't really a thing.
Right. We're just the fucking nostalgia crew today.
We really are. But what do you think about this trailer, man?
I really dig this trailer because it seems like they are not just coasting off of the energy of season 1, because in theory they could just run it back and give us the exact same shit, and I'm sure that most people would still be fine with it, but it looks like they're continuing the narrative here, so, and I dig that because part of the arc in season 1 for Peacemaker was him dealing with killing Rick Flag Jr.
Right.
And now we see that that's going to come home to roost in some regards, because we see Rick Flag Sr. and he seems like he's going to be on Peacemaker's ass, about this.
Yeah. And maybe also the fact that his dad was a raging racist.
That also had a lot to do with it too. Yeah.
So I want to talk about, and this is actually a good segue into the trailer here for Superman, is like, there's like a fictional rock band that is referenced in all of the DCU projects so far.
Is there?
So in the Creature Commandos, they mentioned the Mighty Crabjoys.
Okay.
And Superman, in the Superman trailer, when Lois is like, you have a dog or whatever, and it shows him laying in his bed, there's a Mighty Crabjoys poster up on the wall. And there's also one in the Peacemaker trailer.
The fuck is James Gunn up to?
I don't know, but there's no way that he accidentally did this shit.
Absolutely not. That is fascinating. Yeah. I'm not sure what his goal is there with that, but it has that James Gunn quirk to it. That's for damn sure.
Because I noticed the trailer, the poster in both trailers, and then of course I went to our forensic experts Reddit, and they of course had also picked up on that it was in Creature Commandos as well.
Wow.
So
that is interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with that.
The Superman trailer dropped today.
It did.
I'll be honest, I tend to only watch the first thing that comes out about a property, like the first trailer or whatever they drop. And as we've said, like, Hollywood doesn't really know the difference between a teaser and a trailer anymore anyway. When I first heard that James Gunn was going to kick the DCU off and it was going to be Superman, I was like, ew. And then like the casting started to come out, and then I was like, I don't really like this. Like, the only interest that I even have in this at all is the fact that James Gunn is making it. Like, James Gunn has enough credit with me that I'll go see the shit even if it looks bad to me. Then the first teaser came out, and I saw that and also the extended teaser, because in the original one, they didn't have the part where the robots bring him in and hit him with the sun.
And Crypto fucks him up.
And Crypto, yeah. And that got me a little more interested. in it, and I gotta say this trailer has me on board. So he has slowly pushed me into the yes column on this. It's his game to lose now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm right there. You know, I'm ready for it. I don't see how anybody watches this trailer and doesn't want to go see this movie.
It's a great trailer. And it's like we've said before, we've been fooled by great trailers in the past.
Oh, yeah.
But if we're choosing to be optimistic here, and also just, like you said, coasting off the credit that James Gunn has with us, I think that this is going to be a really fun movie, a really good movie. And it's like you also said earlier, it feels like the tone is going to be spot on for this.
That's the hardest thing to get in a Superman movie, to me.
It absolutely is.
Because you want a hopeful message, but in today's era of filmmaking, it's incredibly easy to make that feel cringe.
Yeah.
You know, to have it be, what do they call it? It's like, the term is slipping my mind, like toxic positive.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, toxic positivity.
Yeah. To have it go into that category, you know?
Yeah.
And you just don't, like, it's just a hard balance to walk. It's like in pro wrestling, you know, trying to be the white meat baby face, you know, the Cody Rhodes thing.
Yep.
And it's so hard to pull that off. You have to have a certain edge to you to where you don't seem like a caricature, and you don't want too much edge, because then you get fucking Batman versus Superman. You know, it's a very, very thin line that you have to walk, and I feel like he has nailed it with the tone of this trailer, because it feels hopeful, but Clark also doesn't feel like this autonomous good deeds paladin bot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's an internal struggle there, you know, and I think my favorite part of this trailer is probably the beginning of it for me, actually. Seeing him sitting down with Lois, and, you know, they're conducting this interview. Like, he's allowing her to interview Superman.
Yeah.
And I think it's fantastic because we get to see, like, the complexities of their relationship and also the internal conflict with Clark himself. And I really dig that, especially in a younger version of Clark Kent like we have here. You know, so, like, he's, you know, in his mind, he is doing everything that he's supposed to do as, like, as someone who is there for hope and good and all things righteous. But the way that it's being perceived and presented by, whether it be the media is or whoever, is like, it's very disparaging to him, and he's reacting to it like a human, because he was raised by humans, you know.
Right.
And you know, so this would have fell flat for me if he responded like, well, people can be misguided at times, you know. They just, if he just kind of brushed it off. But the fact that, like, it clearly agitates him that for whatever reason people think that he is there as a threat or there for ulterior motives other than him just wanting to help.
Yes.
But it's also him, to a degree, being naive and not understanding the complexities of, like, geopolitics or war or, you know, just things of that nature.
Human nature.
Yeah. I mean. And so, like, I really love how they're dealing with those complexities. Again, it's not just so black and white, but it has layers to it. And all throughout and that, for me, that sets the tone for the entire trailer, because then all throughout the trailer you see moments of him, you know, being knocked down and, you know, in these drag out fights, and then civilians helping him up. Whereas in the beginning of the trailer, we see civilians pelting trash at him, you know. And so it's, I think it's a really good trailer. It's really effective, and it really just nails the tone of Superman the way that it should be.
You know, there's a reason that the Rocky formula is used in cinema so often. Mm-hmm. The David versus Goliath, you know, the underdog versus the all-powerful. Because it fucking works. But I gotta be honest, man. If you can find a way to do that with, like, the strongest motherfucker on the planet, that's impressive.
Yes.
You know, if you can have Superman without, like, shitting on him as a character, feel like he's, you know, fighting his way up, you know.
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
Absolutely.
But this trailer conveys that. And it feels like it's both a physical and a mental struggle, you know.
Yes.
I love that he kind of sets it up like, oh yeah, I mean, I could be interviewed by Lois Lane, whatever. And like, she's a fucking A-level journalist. She's not gonna throw him softball easy questions.
She didn't pull punches.
And then he's like, "Oh, wait a minute, I ain't signed up for this shit."
Yeah. Also, like, did they elude that Lex is the president?
I don't think he is. I think that's just she was asking him, like, the interview is going on in the background for the trailer, and right after she says the president, Lex is shown, like, right after that. So either that's an intentional foreshadowing. I don't think he is the president yet.
Okay.
I think maybe they might be foreshadowing that eventuality.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't think it was accidental either.
Yeah.
You know, that he gets shown right after that.
Yeah. That was definitely done on purpose. But
I mean, I just don't think there's any way the fucking president sneaks into the Fortress of Solitude. You know?
Yeah. That does make you wonder how the fuck are they going to get in there. Like, I'm assuming that the door has been left open because you can't just kind of walk into that place.
I mean, Crypto knows how to get in, so.
Crypto can get in. Crypto very may well have let them in.
Yeah. Some people are here.
Yeah. And also, I'm already sad that some of the robots get destroyed.
I know.
Yeah. Oh. Well, hopefully it wasn't the new one.
Is Alan Tudyk voicing those?
I don't know.
I think he's got to be.
He's not tired of voicing robots?
I don't think so.
Yeah, why not?
I just got done watching some of his amazing robot voice work last night, as a matter of fact.
Oh yeah, I gotta go ahead and finish Andor.
Yeah, fucking K2SO is such a treasure.
Yeah,
he might be my favorite droid.
Wow,
I just love how like HK-47 he is.
I was gonna say, what about HK-47?
Yeah, he's like right there with HK-47, and then of course like R2. Like everyone loves R2.
Yeah.
Yep, he's voicing the robots.
Ah.
Yeah, of course he is.
Nice.